game, and let's see if this will work now. Nope, that doesn't work. So what if we do this? Hey, it still works. Cool, we fixed our technical difficulties. No clue what happened.
Alright, and now we're back.
Resumed. We are into the game. I still do not see the white pixel line you were talking about, Kendralis. Or not Kendralis, sorry, my bad. Kindle Dust. But I'm sorry, it will probably drive you insane throughout this game. And Dragolaw, maybe instead of blaming players fix PCs, we would, but we have a huge computer lab full of PCs donated by Cybertron. Cybertron PC, and it's actually, they're working rather well, other than the one Mystic Decay always gets. See, watch in motion, see it there? I'm really not seeing it.
I'm checking on the big screen over there as well. There's nothing I can see on the big screen on the top left side.
Me either. Maybe it's because we are not close enough to that screen. Our bad. And we do actually need to change the score of unlucky to 1. Now we will be getting into this early game. Sorry, I was a little distracted by some applause out the window, but that is despite the fact we have to focus on the game. Player John and Misty Stumpy playing around on the top side, trading a little bit. Misty Stumpy going a little ahead. As expected, Jace bringing a little more damage on that champion. Now, Quantum Physics and CC Hollywood were actually doing some pretty heavy trades early on, and Quantum Physics was forced to burn 2 charges of his corrupting potion due to losing these early trades against this Cassiopeia. Do you think that's going to be a common factor in this game?
I don't think so. Definitely not. I mean, he's out of corrupting potion charges now, but honestly, as long as he keeps and maintains his CS count with Cassiopeia, he should be just fine.
I still don't see it, guys. It's on the right line next to the 0 on the scoreboard. No clue.
Like on the League client itself?
I think it's right here.
Well, if that's the line right there, then there's
Wait, the scoreboard with team names or the scoreboard with kills?
Right. Anywho, we should be really focused on this game here. I mean, they're getting shoved back here. And Cassiopeia is getting pretty close to that tower as well, shoving Corky back. However, Rengar looking to possibly gank from mid.
It's on the left side of the left side. That's really descriptive.
Kills, they say kills.
Kills? Oh, I see it. It's right there, I think. Nope, that was a speck on our screen. Still don't see it.
Whatever. You guys are going to have to deal, sadly. We need to cover this game.
But we are seeing about a 500, 400 around there gold lead for Columbia College just based off of these waves. And a 13-14 now CS differential in this top side. And Player John is actually getting pretty bullied around up here.
That's to be expected with Jace up against a Nautilus, to be honest. But Karma here dishing out some damage herself against Tom Kench.
Good damage onto the Tom, but it is kind of not
a dive.
Important. And there is actually a dive on the top side from RJ onto Player John. And Misty Stumpy flashing onto Player John. Barely gets away from the tower.
That could possibly spell out trouble if the top lane gets ahead with these kills, Especially it going, actually, oh, it goes over to Rek'Sai.
It does. Must have been the red buff burn onto player John that finished him off. But Misty Stumpy, good play, following a flash of player John to the other side of the top lane tower and managing to pick up that kill. Now we do see Rengar hanging around in the wings of this mid lane. Cassiopeia very pushed up. Maybe Henry might look for something here as Rek'Sai has backed. And yes, we see Henry coming into the bush on the middle side, but Cassiopeia spots him out and walks away. Just has the sense that something is wrong.
I believe Cassiopeia just wanted to ward that bush by that red side. Ooh,
Actually,
tons of
very
damage.
Strong shade coming in from Quantum Physics. He hit level 6 over Hollywood, and he gets away, but he does go down to the minions and the poison. That is a 1-for-1 trade in the mid lane.
How does the EXP work in that factor, though? Do you actually still get the EXP after dying?
Yeah,
Okay. That's quite interesting.
because you still have the kill credit.
Right.
Hollywood tried to pull a Jouet.
Gillette.
Words.
Ooh, Rengar.
Actually, yeah, Rengar getting caught out in the bottom red side jungle. But we have the fight in the top lane between Player John and Misty Stumpy, and we have not seen this go well for Player John lately. And Henry actually getting jumped on in the bottom side. CC Jean and Artemis are here, and RJ Scumbag picking up another kill instead of donating it over towards Artemis. And while we were watching that, Player John went down to Misty Stumpy in the top lane. They are looking towards this dragon, even though it is only 7 minutes into the game.
It's an Ocean Drake as well. Definitely going to help out Tom Kench here in the later game.
Absolutely, but we see this constant poking from Quantum Physics, and actually CC Hollywood hitting level 7 first. But that is equalized with the wave crashing into the tower from Quantum Physics. Hollywood landing some good damage onto Quantum Physics. Not really actually good damage, just having a good time landing those.
Phosphorus shot.
No, Hollywood.
Oh, Hollywood. My bad. Oh, which skill?
The cube.
Ah. I am not sure what it's called.
Okay. The poison charge.
Noxus charge.
Cassiopeia cube?
Noxious, yeah, it should be just Noxious, I believe.
Noxious blast. Whichever it may be.
You know, you can always click on the champion.
Noxious Blast.
Aha! I was right.
We were getting there, Daniel.
Hey, Rengar!
Don't flame us. Actually, yes, Rengar getting in the bottom side, jumping onto RJ, but the TP from Misty Stumpy does come down, and Quantum Physics is here, Valkyrie onto Jace, and the exhaust going down from Ayakura onto Misty Stumpy. He's going to be going down to Quantum Physics. That is a kill for both sides, 1-for-1. And actually, in the bottom lane, we see Mystic Decay going on Artemis with a level advantage. He has level 6, and Artemis does not. But in the mid lane, there is a 3-man push onto this middle tower from Ayakura, Quantum Physics, and Player John actually going to dive. Quantum Physics dodges the Cassiopeia ultimate. The Petrifying Gaze does go wide on Quantum, and Quantum picks up a double kill onto RJ and Hollywood under the tower. Player John tanking up those tower shots.
Wow, Quantum Physics now has 4 kills. That's really going to set him ahead.
But here's a curtain call, and it lands the first shot onto Quantum, the second on Ayakura. Player John was not in position to block the shots. Ayakura moved a little bit and missed those, or got out of the line from John, was not able to block those shots. And the kill goes over to Artemis, almost for free, simply off of a misstep from Ayakura.
Now, Columbia College looking towards to get this mid tower themselves. However, Ash Arrow coming in.
Lands onto Misty Stumpy. Will not really turn into any aggression here. Maybe. Henry actually getting landed on by lots of damage. The bouncing grenade and the deadly flourish from Jin coming through, putting Henry in the ground.
Oh man, that tower in mid lane is just nearly just one shot. Honestly, if Nautilus, goes in just to auto attack it, it could potentially just go down.
But we see a lot of damage coming out from Jace onto Mystic Decay, and Rek'Sai follows it up with a flash unburrow. And now, what can Quantum Physics and Player John in the backline do? Quantum Physics gets dropped by Artemis way too soon. They have no damage left. Player John gets hit by the Deadly Flourish once again, and Artemis flashes in for the 4th shot, a double kill onto the top laner of Unlucky, and Ayakura manages to trade one back onto RJ, landing the Mantra W, snaring him down. But first, Tower Blood does go over to Columbia College, who has earned themselves a 3,000 gold lead 11 minutes into this game, just off of these constant fights.
Bad calls, I must say, from Unlucky here. Really, overstaying their welcome, trying to put a lot of their resources in that mid lane when they really didn't have to, The other thing is now Jhin has 4 kills. That is going to be a really deadly Jhin now.
Artemis is going to be very, very scary on that Jhin. And Dean using that Tom Kinch ultimate to pull Hollywood into the mid lane, saving this tower from those minions.
However, we've seen the similar kind of playstyle already happening again. Columbia College takes the lead early on, and then somehow during the mid-game to late game, it switches over to Unlucky. They could potentially happen again.
It could. And here's Quantum Physics, Valkyrie on Artemis, dropping that exhaust, and almost a 0 damage traded back kill onto Quantum Physics. Just no potential really for Artemis to do much there. Both cylinders down. But in the top lane, we have a fight between Misty Stumpy, Henry, and Player John. Misty Stumpy actually trading back good damage on a Henry, but the empowered Bola does land, snares him, and he drops. Overall, 2 kills for 0 on the map for Unlucky. A good recovery play and a little bit of a misstep from Columbia College as Hollywood is now caught up out in the mid lane, Mystic Decay lands the Enchanted Crystal Arrow and backsteps on the Petrifying Gaze, dodging it, and manages to put Hollywood very, very low, but RJ actually knocking Player John up under the tower. The Deadly Flourish does land, and here's a curtain call. Player John is not going to survive this. Artemis drops him with the final shot, but Hollywood gets eaten by Dean. Dean flashes in to save his mid laner, but Ayakura lands the final auto attack needed. It does not matter. That is a 1-for-1 trade with flashes from the mid laner to the support.
Top lane here getting pressured out by Rek'Sai and Jhin. Man, so back and forth right now, and the gold deficit is only 1.1k.
Just constant fighting on every single side of this map. And Artemis will be dropping this top outer tower, and that puts them back at about a 2,000 gold lead 13 minutes and 37 seconds into the game. Absolutely elite. Now, what do you think the next move is for this Unlucky squad? How do they come back from this deficit?
They're going to have to focus this dragon here.
And it looks like they will be. Player John on the top side without a teleport, while Misty Stumpy is even with the team landing some of this poke that is very important for Jace to get down before these fights.
To be honest, right now, his teleport's practically coming up.
Henry got knocked up. Enchanted Crystal Arrow actually goes
TP's coming in.
And lands onto Dean. Maokai TPing in onto the north side of the river.
It's actually Nautilus.
What did I say?
He said Maokai.
That one. Yeah,
and now
enough.
they're focusing their eyes onto Dragon, just trying to bait it out and see if they can get any picks.
Absolutely. Now, just barely missing the unburrow onto Ayakura, but Henry goes super low. Misty Stumpy into the back line, onto Mystic Decay. Artemis in the backside of his team, dropping the curtain call and taking down 2. That's a double kill. That is a overall 4 kills for Columbia College, with only Misty Stumpy falling. What even happened in that fight?
Definitely some bad calls, really, to try to ult I believe it was Cassiopeia that was ulted by Nautilus. Honestly, it should have been try to focus the Jhin in the back line. Try to get to him as fast as you can. Make sure he can't, do a whole lot against your team. So it was a misplay from Unlucky to not, focus on the ADC in the back.
Absolutely. And we also see that misplay, putting them behind another 1,000 gold and another dragon. That is the Mountain Drake going over to the Columbia College Silver side. Not Silver. Cougars. That's such a struggle. But, like you said, that one of the win conditions for this game, just like last game, is focusing on these dragons. And here Columbia College is. They've finally woken up on their objective control. They have 2 dragons to 0.
Still quite early in the game for dragons, though. There is still potential for more dragons to be taken, so it could favor in Unlucky's side later on. And it ultimately just comes down to the Elder Drake, whichever side gets the massive burn damage against the enemy team.
Absolutely, and it actually looks like RJ is looking to go maybe aggressive with Hollywood on a player John in this top side, but it looks like they will just stop to clear out the wave. Nothing too crazy. Finally, the team's calming down a little bit, not overreaching as we've seen before, but actually it looks like Quantum Physics is coming in with the package onto Dean, maybe. Nope, calls it back as he hears the Void Rush from RJ moving into the bottom side of the river. But Misty Stumpy is here on the wings as well. Henry jumps onto RJ, but this might be a little too over-aggressive. Deadly Flourishes lands, but the empowered heal from Ringar does break crowd control, and he walks away just fine. Now, what do you think the next objective on this Columbia College team is in their crosshairs?
Bottom tower. Jace is pushing that out right now, and they're just trying to provide mid pressure now, so to force the team all to back up. So Ash knows she cannot fight Jace at the moment, so she's just going to let that tower go down.
Absolutely. And Player John actually used the depth charge really early. Curtain Call comes through, not mainly to kill, but to slow. And here we go. RJ going on to the back line, knocking up Henry, knocking up Quantum Physics. Henry is running away very, very low. Player John is hit by the Deadly Flourish and gets snared, but the rocket comes through for Quantum Physics and takes down Hollywood. That is a 1-for-1. What can Quantum Physics do in the rest of this fight? Artemis is low, as is Misty Stumpy, and here we go. Ayakura flashing onto Artemis, dropping him low, but Artemis flashes away with that 4th shot, takes down Ayakura, and Henry manages to trade back RJ. That is a 2-for-2 in the fight now. What even is, or are these team fights turning into?
I have no idea how to really picture this. It's just really just an all-out skirmish brawl between the two teams. They're very sloppy against each other, honestly, trading back and forth. Honestly, the gold deficit doesn't even look like it's anything anymore. It's just a matter of who's better at playing their champion.
Mm-hmm. And Quantum Physics making an absolutely fantastic showing on this Corki. 7-2-1, 40 CS over his mid lane opponent. How do you think that will play into how Hollywood plays the rest of this game?
Well, into the late game, once Nautilus gets his tank mode going on and he locks down Jhin, Quantum Physics can easily burst down that Jhin very quickly. So that is something to look forward to. And definitely, like the gold here, it doesn't even matter who has the lead in gold, because now we see both teams just being really powerful against each other. It's just a matter of how well can these teams play out and who goes down pretty much first.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And we see both of the teams calming down a little bit, resetting, clearing out the wards. But there is still some deep wards from Columbia College in this blue side jungle. And actually it looks like a bit of an invade from the Columbia College bot lane, and RJ into this red side, and Mystic Decay and Ayakura are here, as is player John. What do you think is going to come out of this? Maybe finding out some rotations early.
Quantum Physics putting that pressure once again in the bot lane, and now moving towards mid. just trying to put, global pressure, making sure everything's just like always going all around.
Hang on, we can't talk because RJ actually gets caught out in the jungle, locked down by Ayakura, locked down by Henry, and now gets hit by the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, but Dean is here to swallow him up, and Player John goes on to Artemis. Henry is here, and RJ goes down. What can Henry do? Mystic Decay does finally show up, and Quantum Physics is in the wing. Artemis drops very, very low. A beautiful Petrifying Gaze onto 3 people from Hollywood. Mystic Decay and Quantum Physics dropped very, very low, as is Ayakura. And Hollywood actually gets snared by the dredge line. And, Artemis escapes with 12 HP. And RJ manages to snipe out Quantum Physics with a Rek'Sai Q. An absolutely crazy fight. Run us through what just happened.
The 3-man Petrifying Gaze really just locked down the rest of Unlucky's team and just provided a whole lot of damage, dishing out with the Miasma and just Twin Fangs or Double Fang. And honestly, it was a definitely bad play for Player John to use the depth charge way late in the fight.
And while you were talking, Columbia College actually turned their sights onto the Baron buff and secured it with no contest at 21 minutes. That is by far the earliest Baron we have seen at this tournament.
Yeah, these fights are just back and forth, to be honest. These fights are just never clean for just one side. So it's possible that we're going to be seeing a Game 3.
If Hollywood keeps playing like that, then we will be seeing a Game 3.
Yes.
An absolutely beautiful Cassiopeia ult onto all of the carries. Now, I do want to point out that we are 22 minutes into this game, and we've had 35 kills.
Yes, that's what I'm kind of getting at here. Like, it's not a clean match at all. It's back and forth between the two teams. The gold deficit, it looks like around 6,000, but again, the gold deficit doesn't even look like much at all anymore still, because of these teams just going back and forth against each other. Almost bash your head against the wall kind of scenario.
It is the run down mid, constant brawl strategy. Almost no macro planning. It looks like, at least.
I mean, Columbia College right now looking pretty strong right now with that Baron buff, trying to get, as much gold lead as they can. But again, gold doesn't even matter between these two teams anymore.
Well, it will. Columbia College grown their lead to about a 7k gold lead. And if they get that high enough, then their stats are just going to be overpowering the Unlucky squad. Maybe that's why you're starting to see Unlucky lose a few of these fights, is the overall tower game is just not in Unlucky's favor, and they're losing out on gold, losing out on items, and losing out on stats.
Definitely, for sure. However, we almost saw Quantum Physics take down Jin in that last team fight, and he could potentially do it again. A more coordinated and cleaner fight from Nautilus to lock down the targets will spell out trouble.
And we actually have a fight. Ayakura got melted instantly, but Misty Stumpy gets hit by the death charge, but swallowed up by the Tahm Kench. Henry gets knocked up in the front line, and now it's nobody but Quantum and Mystic gets slowed by the Tongue Latch. That is a 4-4-0 on the side of Columbia College, and Quantum Physics is actually going in onto Artemis and lands the kill, flashes away. Trades one back, but it's not going to mean the fight, as Misty Stumpy takes the top tower and is looking to pressure this inhibitor, and Hollywood and Dean are pushing down in this mid lane.
Definitely getting caught out in the jungle is not a good place to fight, especially against a Rek'Sai or Cassiopeia. You're narrowing your escape, you have only a few places to go, and so you're going to definitely get hit by the Airborne or Petrifying Gaze.
And there it is, the mid lane inner tower going in going down, my bad, and the top lane outer
inhibitor tower going down.
As well. But they do not walk away with an inhibitor. There will be no super minions, but this gold lead has pushed up to a 10,000 lead. The towers are 7-1. how does Unlucky even come back in this?
To come back from this, they are going to try to have the focus towards the bot lane and get the bottom lane kind of pushed out. Despite the top lane looking, fairly weak, bottom lane, it just seems like a much safer push to go for. Unlucky here is going to have to recall and make this call to defend the top inhibitor as it is exposed.
Yep, and we see here them pushing in as a 4-man squad. Dean is arriving, and it will be a 5-on-5 if this turns into a brawl. Artemis landing a couple auto attacks on the inhibitor, just slowly pushing it lower. Landing a deadly flourish onto Player John. Maybe this turns into a fight. RJ tunnels in, knocks up Player John, but Player John is very tanky. Enchanted Crystal Arrow does hit Dean, so there is no real hit potential from Mystic Decay any longer. And this inhibitor is slowly dropping, and there it goes. And instantly, we see Columbia College saying, "We don't want that fight, we got what we wanted," and walks away safely. How do you feel like Unlucky can try to maybe play some of this?
Look for a really good Ash arrow onto Cassiopeia or Jhin. Cassiopeia tends to be around in the middle and closer to the front. So catching off Cassiopeia with an enchanted arrow and then lining it up with Player John's anchor and locking down Cassiopeia would definitely be your best bet.
Now, I do want to take a look at the gold differential for Quantum Physics. Actually, up in gold over everybody other than Artemis. And that just really shows testament to how good this guy is. His team's down 11,000 gold, but he has more gold than the majority of the enemy team.
Taking out the vision control away from Unlucky.
Absolutely. Blinding them to what may be going on inside their own jungle. Almost puppy guarding them into their base with the constant map pressure from Columbia College. And this actually looks like it might turn into a fight. We have all 5 Unlucky players and all 5 Columbia College down in the bottom lane. But look in the top side, the super minions are pushing towards that inhibitor, and Mystic Decay gets hit by the energy blast and the deadly flourish, putting him practically dead. He has to walk back and recall, get his health back. And these super minions still pushing up onto the top lane, but Quantum Physics has the package. They could be looking to turn this into a fight here.
If any fight's going to be taking place, honestly, it will definitely be taking place at Dragon. If not Dragon, Baron for sure, which is spawning in about 5 seconds.
Absolutely. As we see the 3rd Ocean Drake spawning, this is going to be so powerful for the Columbia College team, giving them all of these regeneration resources so they can just stay. And actually, there's an enchanted crystal arrow on a Misty Stumpy. Quantum Physics uses the package. That's a 1 for 0. What can Columbia College do to still maintain this pressure while down a player?
They can pull off quite a bit, to be honest, because now with that player down, without teleport to provide, the knockback to make sure Corky can't get in to blow up the Jhin. So that's definitely big, and they can definitely put pressure on that Baron right now and maybe turn this game around.
Absolutely, and we did see last game Columbia College having a commanding early lead, but threw it off of a few missteps, and maybe we see a repeat of that as Unlucky gaining a little more confidence in this mid lane based off of that last play. But they do have to back off, respect the super minions pushing into their base, and they will concede their vision control over Baron once again.
Ash doesn't necessarily have to be in the team fight because they have Quantum Physics. However, if you have both staying in this team fight together, it then makes the call, which do we focus first? However, Ash being so far behind, it still does paint the target for Quantum Physics.
Mm-hmm. And here we see actually Columbia College going straight onto this Baron, but they do not kill the ward in the pit, and that is a teleport from Player John. Cancelled, though, and Misty Stumpy does finish his. Quantum Physics gets hit up, but he's off onto the side and escapes safely. RJ looking for a pick, but he can't find one, gets snared down by the Ringar Bola. What is going to happen? Quantum Physics keeps on poking RJ with these missiles, drops him to about half health. They're going to have to back away for a couple seconds, but the 3 Ocean Drakes should heal them up nicely. Player John locked down by the Deadly Flourish in the miasma. No possibility to flash, no possibility to run, and they do end up popping his Guardian Angel.
And Flash.
And Flash. Yep, the miasma timed out as he respawned, and he managed to flash away over the wall. Good catch. Henry on the side, maybe looking for a catch with On the Hunt, or being able to see these enemy champions through the wall. But it actually does go down. Enchanted Crystal Arrow.
And he steals it!
Henry steals the Baron from Misty Stumpy. Not Misty Stumpy, my bad. RJ. But look at that. 2 kills immediately over. What can Unlucky do with this Baron on 3 people?
They can definitely pull off quite a bit to try to take those towers back at the top side. Top side does look like it's pretty weak. Quantum Physics is really known for actually putting global pressure, so he might just, almost leave the base or defend it. Honestly, he might just defend for now, and then whenever he can get those picks off, he will definitely be looking to try to split push.
Oh, but look at the base. The base is going into shambles. Misty Stumpy and RJ pushing on the inhibitor in the top side. The mid lane inhibitor tower goes down. Hollywood is rather low, but he should be alright and safe with RJ and Dean covering him. And they walk away with 2 inhibitors, even though Unlucky gets the Baron. What happened there? They just didn't have the damage after losing Henry and Ayakura to safely protect their towers, and this Baron goes almost to a waste. Now it's just going to be stall the super minions from killing our base.
For sure, but we've also seen this play in the last game where they have taken 2 inhibitors, and so they've managed to pull back. Honestly, from the last game, they pulled back from 2 inhibitors lost. So there's still a potential to actually still make a comeback.
Absolutely, they are down but not out. They are still looking to put up a fight. But
The gold deficit has now starting to trickle in and show its weight. It is pretty heavy to now still carry this game, but honestly, it's still not over.
Absolutely, and fantastic play from Artemis on this Jhin. 10, 2, and 10. Having 20 out of 27 kill participation is very, very high for a ADC that doesn't even run around the map a lot, but RJ is caught in the blue side jungle. But this is a huge choke point for Columbia College. Hollywood lands a beautiful Petrifying Gaze and Miasma onto the entire enemy team, and Artemis lays down the damage with a curtain call. RJ was looking a little out of position there, but Player John now locked down by the Deadly Flourish, and Mystic Decay actually getting dropped. He's gone. Mystic Stumpy flashes in, but has Guardian Angel. He's going to be coming back up, and Quantum Physics is the lone living survivor, and Misty Stumpy flashes, but Quantum Physics making it onto the fountain just in time, surviving. But what can the rest of Columbia College do? This is a 4 versus 1 for the next 30 seconds. They could take the game here.
They could take the game for sure, but Quantum Physics has his package. He might just use it just to kill them all. Here he comes!
And Hollywood goes down due to the
double kill!
And Jhin shuts him down. Now it's only Ayakura in the base for the next 8 seconds. What happens? And Rek'Sai actually eaten up by the Tahm Kench. They are going to look to recall, reset, and play this safely. But one Nexus Tower does drop to the Super Minions. The second one is going to fall. This means that Unlucky is going to have to play in the rest of the game in their base as long as they have inhibitors down, because these Super Minions are going to do work and could backdoor the Nexus if Unlucky is not careful.
Honestly, I feel like this should be the best time to actually catch back up in gold, because the towers can't no longer take your CS.
Absolutely.
Because you have none.
This is about 840 gold, I believe, per wave being pushed in to the Unlucky Nexus.
That's incredible. Almost 1,000 gold per wave. And that can be given to pretty much anybody. Now we see Columbia College really focusing on those dragons, now getting their second Earth Drake. That's 5 dragons in total, and this time, once Elder Drake spawns up, they're going to have 225 damage for every 3 seconds.
I don't even know if we'll make it to an Elder Drake. That'll be around 42 minutes, and actually Misty Stumpy, never mind, they're on the same team. I don't know why I thought Misty Stumpy was in hot pursuit of Tom Kinch, but Dean and Misty Stumpy not looking to team kill in this game. Mystic K actually taking a charged energy blast to the face, and now Artemis once again with that curtain call. He is the all-American sniper. Some people may call him Chris Kyle, but Columbia College is looking to push onto the Nexus and just maybe snuff the game out from the back. Artemis does get locked down by depth charge, but swallowed up by Tom Kinch. He is safe. RJ missing the unburrow onto Ringar due to a jump, but that means Ringar's on the hunt is down. Ringar is going to go into the back line, but die almost immediately. RJ takes the enchanted crystal arrow to the face. This is going to be game number 2, going over to Columbia College, making this a full 3-game series, and actually they're playing for KDA. Quantum Physics is going to fall, and Artemis is going to survive the fountain. That was an absolutely explosive game coming out.